For my presentation, I will be discussing behavior changes and exercise. Behavior can be defined as anything a person does in response to internal or external events. The problem that most people find is that they want to change the amount of physical activity they do, but don't always follow through on that. And a study that I researched says that the potential solution to this problem could be detailed action planning, perceived self efficacy, and self regulatory strategies. They actually called this problem um, the intention gap behavior, meaning that, I'm sorry, the intention behavior gap, meaning that they have an intent to want to exercise more, but their behavior doesn't change and allow them to. They did a case study of a sample of 307 cardiac rehabilitation patients, and they asked them to maintain their workout or to start a workout. They held the study for 4 months, and after those 4 months, it was concluded that three factors: planning, maintenance of self-efficacy, and action control helped to bridge the gap. And so they found that with those three factors that people were actually going to say they were going to work out and then actually work out. Most behavioral change strategies derive their components from application of the health belief model, the theory of reasoned action, the theory of planned behavior, and the trans-theoretical model, and the social cognitive theory. And the later slide, you'll see I talk about the trans-theoretical model and some other theories as well, but we're going to get into it. So self-efficacy refers to an individual's belief in his or her capacity to execute behaviors necessary to produce specific performance. Self-efficacy and the trans-theoretical model go hand in hand because the trans-theoretical model depends on if someone believes in themselves enough to sustain a set goal and continue to progress through each stage of the model. And the belief that they have in themselves would be the self-efficacy. And so the stages of the model are pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, termination, and relapse. Pre-contemplation is realization that you need to exercise, that you want to become more healthy, so therefore you would like to start exercising. And then contemplation is you're going to just evaluate yourself and say, what I like to be more healthy about myself, what is not healthy, what am I lacking as far as exercise and health go, and what can I do? So then preparation is what are my options for exercising, and action is, okay, so now what am I going to do? So am I going to join a fitness group? Am I going to start running? Am I going to start joining a bicycling group or yoga? And then how many times a week am I going to do this so that I can achieve the desired goal? And then maintenance is just keeping up with that. So if you said that you were going to bike 3 times a week, every week, then you're going to keep it up. Termination is you're just going to continue to the habits that you have formed, the new habits that you have formed. So, maybe you are eating 3 meals a day, making sure you're getting snacks, they're healthy, you're exercising 3 days a week, and you're just going to continue doing that every single week. And then relapses, something happened, so now we're going to stop doing that exercise as much. So maybe like your mom's dying or you're having a hard time at school, so then you're not going to be as willing to want to work out because you have other things with your mind and stressing you out, and that's going to add to it. So in Korea, the Korea Center for Disease Control and Prevention did a study using the trans-theoretical model, and actually they do a lot of them, but one of them specific that I'm going to talk about is the case study that they did when they examined senior undergraduate students and their level of exercise. And they realized that only 18.8% regularly exercise on a day-to-day basis. And so they want, their goal was to try to create from the study, just from the results and everything, try to create an undergraduate program specifically tailored for people to exercise and how can they exercise more. And so one of the methods that they used was the chance theoretical model. They also used decisional balance and they also used self-efficacy. And so the study, they had about 1,000, they took about 1,000 students over 4 universities. So like it was a total of 1,000, but they're all from 4 different universities. And so they gave them all questionnaires, and they only received like 976 questionnaires were collected. So then after that, they used 959 of them. And so in conclusion, after the study was done, they realized that when behavior change is low, at its lowest, that strategies such as one-to-one training, having people read books on health and behavior, and providing the necessary information that they need would be better when behavior change is low. And then they also realized that they needed to heighten self-efficacy when exercise behavior is high. Behavior change, is high. And so they, conducted these type of they realized that people would be more susceptible to them because they were conducted, like they can be a little bit more free in the kind of exercise and be a little bit more comfortable this way. Another theory that I used was self-determination, and I kind of feel like self-determination and self-efficacy, self-determination theory, and self-efficacy kind of go hand in hand as well. And the self-determination theory states that in order to maintain behavior over time, one needs to incorporate skills and values as well as self-determination. And so when looking up this theory, I ran across a study, and basically they were doing a paper on the self-determination theory, and the school that did it was the University of Rochester. And so they said that they were doing the research and they did the study, and that in order to maximize the patient's experience of autonomy, competence, and relatedness in healthcare settings, that this would help them regulate a healthier behavior, and it would be also better because it's going to be more likely that they're going to internalize and maintain the behavior change. The self-determination theory focuses on autonomy and competence because they feel like this is critical for internalization and integration. And basically, they feel like that a person's going to be able to self-regulate and sustain behaviors better this way, with those two things. And then with relatedness in healthcare settings, they feel like people are going to be more comfortable if there's something to kind of more relate to in that type of way. Another study that I looked up was a cardiac rehabilitation study, and so they wanted to do 2 longitudinal tests, one being action planning and then action planning and coping planning combined. They wanted to see which one would work better, so they took a group of cardiac rehabilitation patients after they were discharged and told them to either start a routine, or to try to see if they basically could exercise daily after they had been discharged. So they found that the combined planning group did a lot better than the action planning group. And so I found that after doing research that, I felt like their study was really correct because obviously from researching, action planning alone isn't enough. You have to have action and something else to go with it so that people can actually follow through. And so I feel like the coping planning was good in this case because they didn't just say, "Hey, like, I just wanna work out," or, "I need to exercise," and then not do anything. They actually made a plan to try to see, like, "Okay, how am I gonna actually get to the steps of executing what I said?" In conclusion, behavior change and exercise takes action, planning, and self-efficacy. I believe that, it's not just enough just to say, "Hey, I wanna work out," or "I need to exercise," "I need to be healthy." You need to also follow through with it and change the way you think, from inside out. And so, thank you for watching my presentation.